Hello, everybody. You guys are hanging out with us today. We're going to be going over some stuff. It's our first time on StreamYard, so we're going to check in to make sure it's live on YouTube. And before we get into talking, it's weird. We've never used it before. I've seen Varian use it, so I'm testing it today right now, a few minutes before the program, seeing what cool stuff they got going on. I'm curious. Oh, the thing I didn't understand, I guess we are live right now. We'll do a mic check. See if there's volume coming out. It's giving us the wheel of death. Well, it shows that we're talking. Seeing what cool stuff we got going on. All right, so I guess we're live. It does give me an edit video option already, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Let's just put no, it's not for kids and update right away because we don't want any problems with that. I don't want anyone saying that this was for kids. So, all right, so we're live right now. All right. Welcome to the stream. We're going to go ahead and go live on our other platform, which is Facebook. And we might have guests, we might not. I don't know. We're going to see. I sent out an open call. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're starting the streaming. Again, because this is somewhat new, I'm not totally sure what we'll wind up seeing here. All right. Think we're good, or I'm just looking for the streaming to take. Yep, we're seeing streaming. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go live. Hey everybody, we're just gonna be doing a mic check. We're live right now on hopefully YouTube, as well as being live on StreamYard. So we're going to do a little bit of a mic check right now. You guys are going to be joining us for ICR today, the Indie Comics Report. I'm not seeing that I'm live right now, so that could be problematic. Should be live. I should be live, but I'm not seeing that I am live. I just want to make sure that we are, in fact, actually live. Oh, there it goes. All right. Should be live. All right, so I should be live, but I'm not seeing that I am live. All right, so from the impressions I have, we are live directly at the same time now on YouTube, and we're live on Facebook. So we're going to start recording here, and this will be where the show is. We're recording just in case anything goes wrong. Let's begin. Hey everybody, welcome to the Independence Comic Report, the ICR. We got some stuff to cover. We're going to do an Ask Me Anything segment. I am actually the guest this week. I'm on Kickstarter, and I figured it would be nice for me to be a guest for once on my own show. So hang out. We're going to get through the news first, and then we'll see what we can see about getting someone in here to interview me. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can still hear I'm getting over the flu. I apologize. That's not going to be the first nor last time you'll hear me cough. But I'm going to throw down the gauntlet, as it were, for you guys to come onto the show. StreamYards apparently allows me to get more people in here. So we're going to try to get you guys to be part of the show today. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the comments section. If you guys want to be part of the show, come on in and ask me anything. First, we want to get into the business end of the show, talk about some Indie Comic Report news. And unfortunately, got to start off over here with another person getting dupreed. All right, so here it goes. This is unfortunately, a weekly segment now, the Dupreed Report. I forgot to switch that title. Actually, the title should be Five Blades Brokenhearted. And we're going to be talking about a person who worked with Marcel and the Five Blades creator. And we're going to make this I Am the Artist. Oops, there it is. I am the artist of the Five Blades, and I got Dupreed. So what does Dupreed mean? Well, I fixed this. Dupreed means a person who's taken advantage of by someone promising you the world and not delivering on any of those promises. And we're going to talk about Five Blades for just a few minutes, give people an idea of what's going on. So this is directly from our comments section. So this was taken directly from our site, which is interesting because it's reaching out. You'll see how far this is all reaching. So here we go. I'm going to just tip this up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. So Five Blades. Five Blades was kickstarted last year, and we'll get into all those details in just a minute. It says, I am the artist for Five Blades. I had to write this to all my friends and family that helped fund the Kickstarter for a book that is yet to be produced. You can add me to this article as well. It pains me to write this post as some of you know, I've been working vigorously to make comics since 2013. I have made very little success up until this point. I thought I had found the opportunity to do art for a book working on a small boutique of a company called Evolution Publishing. The owner and creator by the name of Marcel Dupreed approached me with his book, Five Blades, with the intention of having me draw his story with a number of other creators and writers that work for him. I was hesitant at first. I was hesitant to take on the project, seeing how much of his books were funded through Kickstarter. Eventually, I took on the project, seeing he had had much success and seemingly produced issue after issue of books. It was a grueling process working with him from the get-go. Unfortunately, I swallowed my frustrations and focused on producing and promoting his stories. After I finished the book, around 6 months, I asked when he would do his part to produce this book with his team, seeing how people funded the project and supported my creative outlets, along with paying me the rest of the money from producing this book, 60 pages of comic. I heard nothing back. I continued to ask for updates every week and then every so often until his Facebook account disappeared. I was still in touch with some of the other people that worked on the project, and as far as assisting with the writing, editing, and lettering of his book, for the book. To my surprise, they had not heard from Marcel and had also expressed concerns about the book not being produced and also working on it and not getting paid. Started noticing through weaved connections on Facebook that more Kickstarters are being produced with his name attached to them as creator, making more money for books that will most likely never be seen. Started searching for the ways to reach him and eventually found him on Instagram, also promoting books. After months of nothing, he finally responded. The response I will make public in the comment section. For those that supported the book, I will fight for your refund. If you message me after you see this, I will add you to the list who were also screwed by the individual. I worked hard to make that book, not just for money. I take this very seriously, and I apologize for those that helped me through this finish line. The article produced with the other listings and fraudulent behaviors, and this was given to us by Lamar M. And so let's take a look at Five Blades. So this is Five Blades. Oops, no peeking on what Chuck and me are talking about. This is Five Blades, some of the art from it. All right, so we go to the production updates on the Kickstarter. And guys, remember, if you're not happy with the project, please give a frowny face. Let them know how you feel. And here we go. This is talking about an update. The last update was in September. Now, this is funny because they actually said it. Some other updates here. Line artwork is done. Production update. Lamar is trying to push above 50 pages to give you all your money's worth. Below are screenshots of the images. So Lamar is obviously attached to the project. So we get here and it says letters done in a real PDF. So let's do. We clicked on this link, a real PDF, right? So, right, like it's up here in Five Blades. So when we do that, it's a backers only area. and it shows you an ad for another book, which, you know, whatever, so be it. And when you finally clicked on this, oh, sorry, I got it open twice. When you finally click on that, you get, and I'm going to show you guys live. There we go. And I wanted to show this to be transparent. Here it is. The book is done. I'm not going to show too much of it. I did want to show that it's done. Lamar is listed as the artist and the editor of the book, which doesn't sound like he was really editing. So I don't know. We'd have to reach out to him for that. Writer, I don't know how you have two writers, but Josh, this guy right here, has really taken up the Marcel Dupree flag waving and has defended him to no tilt, to the point of being, we'll just call it rude. We'll be nice and we'll just frame it as rude instead of what it really is, an out of control asshole. So we'll just call him rude. And so here it is. The book was produced. So here it is in September being produced. So let's go over to the Kickstarter again. And let's go to the comment section. So 21 days ago, update. I found this interesting read. Check this out. Oh, wait, that's us. Well, everyone sees it now. It's getting to be honest things that actually makes me happy. And let's just give them a thanks for showing love. Now, you notice I can comment here because I'm a backer. So I didn't even know there was a PDF. I didn't know because the PDF wasn't sent to me. It was put in an update for backers only. To me, that's unprofessional, but whatever. I had a PDF level. If I'd looked at the updates instead of like actually a survey where it was sent to me directly, because I did look, I didn't get a survey, and maybe that was an oversight, giving a benefit of the doubt. Does not seem like anyone got their printed stuff. So a book is done, but it hasn't been printed. And we'll quickly slide through this so you guys can see that this is actually like some stuff going on in it, you know? And again, we're just doing this quickly. We're not trying to ruin anyone's hard work by spoiling anything in the book. We're just all the way down. 56 pages is where it gets down to. And here we go. So it is a finished book. It's 56 pages. For some reason, hold on, echo, 56 divided by 4.
56 divided by 4 is 14.
So 14. So it's 14 individual pages. It's the right size. So, I mean, it's here. He did it. Why are people in the comment section talking about not having it? I don't understand that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why people are saying that they haven't seen it. Radio silence. They're asking about it. The book's done, and it hasn't been delivered. But I know some of you guys out there, you're wondering. You're like, Rob, you know what? I'm a risk taker. I like to take chances. How could I get on this exciting Marcel Dupree thing and possibly not get my book? Well, there's the Kooky Wanderer. You guys can back his latest project and spend your money and see if you get it. It's like Russian roulette. Maybe you'll get a book, maybe you won't. So if you're into gambling your money away, there's the Kooky Wanderer, which I'm sure Marcel will come in and top off. Don't worry about the fact that it hasn't funded. It'll get there. So that is the update on Marcel Dupree. For those of you tuning in today expecting an update on Dirk Manning, I will only say that I have said what I have to say on my personal page. And we have recently changed our rules that if anyone is caught doing something in the public eye that is unsavory, we will remove them from the site, pending an investigation done by me or someone else until the truth comes out. We won't be going on unsubstantiated rumors, but when 10 people are saying the same thing, we're going to take that serious. The other updates we have for you today, and more good news, and as opposed to this stuff that we have to deal with, is, if it loads, Joel Rodriguez is back on Kickstarter. He's got his amazing, actually, I don't know what you call it, and Chuck has entered the room. For those who don't know, he's in the background, actually, where he's in the new studio that we have, the new green room as it is from SteamYard. You can say hello, Chuck.
No, I can't.
Okay, well, you can say something so I can make sure your mic is working.
I've been speaking. You have to take me out of there.
I can hear you.
No, I know, but they can't.
They can't
Oh, it's because
because
I'm in the show now. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I see it now. All right.
Are you watching Facebook?
No.
Oh, okay. Facebook is like 10 seconds behind. I don't know why. And if,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and in the StreamYard, yeah, you're right. There's a green room and then there's an actual place. When I said go ahead and talk, I noticed you were there, so I brought you into the main room.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's different than Hangouts. Hangouts, everyone's already in Hangouts.
Yeah.
This actually gives me the ability to bring 6 people on live and have like 4 or 5 more in the waiting room.
Yeah, I've done some StreamYard already. I like it.
Yeah, because Hangouts has been nothing but a pain in the ass this year. So I definitely want to distance myself from that.
Well, they're trying to get rid of it, so.
Yeah, why continue to use something that's not being updated, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. We have. Did you see Joel is on Kickstarter?
He told me, yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a cool sticker if you want, holographic one from Sticker Mule. We're going to be doing for the next couple weeks. This is a heads up. We're going to be giving out the awards individually, so people can see the actual awards that they won. We're going to do it one at a time as opposed to 30 in one day. So keep an eye out on that. Last Rites for Crimson Scorpion. Never mind. Furthermore, recorded this week. We're going to talk more about my Kickstarter, I'm sure. And The Unusuals and Angel of Sand Hill are still on Kickstarter. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring Chuck in. And I have exciting new angles. I actually have 2 screens now that we can switch. 2 live screens. There's our boy Chuck. What's going on, Chuck?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. Life is life. So I'm on the downhill right now on the roller coaster. I'm hoping to hit some uphill soon.
I feel you.
So Chuck's actually on to interview me. I didn't want to do a self-interview. I thought it would be grandstanding. So I know Chuck.
Boring.
It is. It really is. Like I did the Ask Me Anything version the other day where we talked about sexual things on Friday. And it went well. Don't get me wrong. People were commenting in the section. People were actually interested in it. So I was interested in it. But I think it's always better when you have the energy of someone else. And John Heppel says, hold on, John. I just want to read John's comment. This kind of shit is exactly why I asked around before working with anyone. And yeah, I said that recently, that even if you're a new creator, you got to Google people, guys. You got to just ask someone. It's not a hard thing to ask a publisher. Hey, is there anyone else that's worked with you that will vouch for you? Don't feel like you have to, feel like you can't have that conversation is all I'm saying, kids. It's all right to ask questions. As we watch Chuck type, hopefully answering your question.
No, what I'm trying to do is trying to find the video so that I can keep up with the questions and I can properly interview you during this.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right.
And just everyone knows on 3/3, David Bryan says that he'll be going live on Kickstarter, it sounds like, with the steak thing that we saw back at MegaCon last year. It's a full-grown comic book now. It's no longer an ash can.
Okay, cool.
I want to say I think it's through Scout, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I heard rumblings if it might be through Scout. And of course, Scout has that 5 new tier thing. You saw that, right? Because you were on the video with me when they announced it, but you saw that they actually officially announced it, which we did get the breaking news for it. Now, last I checked, that video has gotten 1,600 views.
That's cool.
Well, the awards were well received.
I think it's mostly because of me, but I guess the awards matter too.
You did well. I was not doing so well. I don't even know if you knew this, but at one point I had actually ran to the bathroom because my stomach was so upset, and you were basically watching a video without me. And as I was quickly trying to finish my business as fast as I could.
Wow, no, I was not aware of that. That's pretty funny.
But you knew I was sick beforehand. You're the only person who actually knew I was sick beforehand. I was like, if I tag you in, just take it.
Well, that was the same day where I was. I had been on videos all day long. I hadn't eaten, and so somebody
That's
brought me food, and I'm eating in between videos.
Like I'm watching him chew, and I'm like, I can keep talking because my throat was starting to really get bad, and I'm trying not to cough because it's a big deal. And then I see him finish eating, and I tag him in. And as soon as he's done chewing, I was like, Chuck, what do you think?
Yeah.
And then I did that time-tested thing where you cough in a pillow so no one can hear you.
Oh yeah.
That's how you
we've
do
been
the
doing
radio
that.
program. You gotta just.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Chuck. This is the point where I'll just let you do interview stuff.
Cool. So, Robert, thank you for coming on the show today. Before we get started, why don't you give us a little background on the actual, not because today we're here to talk about the BDSM survey, correct?
Yeah. Let's
So-
do that.
Beforehand, why don't you just tell us all about the overarching idea and story behind Barbara Unleashed before we get to the nitty gritty of the BDSM survey?
Barbara Unleashed actually started, believe it or not, 6 years ago. Because I'm doing a novel now, and you've seen a couple of things I've been doing for the novel.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the first draft, and the first draft of the actual story, the very first thing I wrote that I did polish up a bit and will be edited for the book, is going to wind up in the actual the short story tale that I have. And I could not believe how long ago I'd started this journey. Because a lot of times as creators, we feel like it's been a long time, but sometimes you don't even realize it. And I think this went, if I'm not mistaken, the campaign ended January 13th. Let's see, no, it didn't end 2020. I don't know why, but the older Kickstarters don't tell you the date that it funded. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
So it had 2017. Okay, so this had to have been 2017. So yeah, 6 years ago in 2014, I wrote the same script. It took 3 years to find an artist and to really get it off the ground. The entire thing about this book, and everyone, and you can see the title's even different. It was Fetish Babies back then. The whole purpose of this book was really simple, and it's always been a really simple purpose. It was to prove that people with fetishes are human beings. And I know that sounds silly and almost like I'm being facetious a little bit about what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be. I'm actually being genuine. A lot of times people don't realize that everyone involved in it isn't damaged. They're not bad people. They're not people that are despicable human beings, to use a headline from recent years. They're just human beings who have something different. And the closest comparison I can make is, because I'm a little older than some of the people viewing this maybe today, is the fact that I remember watching gay rights and LGBT be born. And I remember seeing people switch from treating people like they were these damaged human beings into actually respecting them and understanding a lot of what they're into wasn't a choice. I haven't seen that happen with the BDSM community or the fetish community. And there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just simple to point it at one person and blame just one person or one group. But there is still this bias that's just publicly allowed. People are very negative about people. I've seen people get attacked online. I've been personally attacked online. I've had people threaten me. And I'm not a good person to threaten because I have a tendency to say something in return. And we've had this attacked for its name to the point where we had it changed. And really, the people who've read the book, I've never heard it. The worst comment I've ever heard was it was a little bit bland for someone. And that's okay, because this was an invitation for everyone to read a book about something they might not have understood. And I get people all the time, well, you know, I'm just not into fetish. And it always makes my mind wonder, okay, so you're into murder? Because when you're buying that murder book, does that mean you're into murder? Are you studying to do murder? Do you like watching people get murdered? And I don't understand that as a creative type. And I've said this, there are some LGBT books out there that I wouldn't read. and it's because they're romantic books. And I don't like romantic stuff. It doesn't matter that they're whoever they are being romantic. I just don't do romance. I don't do Betty and Veronica, either. So that's why I won't do it. But if you give me a character and they're like, I like Batwoman. Batwoman, I think, is on fire right now. Like, I've been watching Batwoman lately. I don't care that she's a lesbian. I don't care what anyone does. You have to make the book interesting. So when I say that, I understand that my book might not be interesting to everybody. And that's fine. I don't care if everyone backs my book. The only thing I care by creating this is that people respect the people in the community and understand it. So if you want to take a swipe at my book, at least you should do is read it. You should understand what I've created and understand what we've done here and how we've done it. And you actually are the editor of it.
That's true.
And I know that you had very mixed feelings when you first started with this, because I think that stop me if I'm speaking out of school, as they say, but you kind of had an impression about what it was and were blown away by the fact of what it really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that
I have to say that in the indie comics interviewing world, what you just gave us is considered a Matt Knowles answer. So what I want from you is tell us about Barbara Unleashed. So tell us about that story. I know now, we get the origins and stuff, but tell us, what is Barbara Unleashed?
Barbara Unleashed is a story of a young woman trying to find herself. She has a fetish. It's encouraged her entire life to go one direction. And when she finally gets that direction, she realizes life's not as simple as she thought it was. And she winds up getting herself into some trouble and has to quickly learn how to survive in an environment that can be dangerous.
Yeah. See, I love your pitches. We got to work together at MegaCon, and he had, dude, what is your sales pitch on that one? I use it.
Have you ever heard of 50 Shades of Grey? Imagine if an adult had written it that knew what they were talking about. Then you get Barbara Unleashed.
That's it right there, people. Like that worked so often. It was great. It was like the ultimate bait. I loved it. It's terrific. Okay, so that's Barbara Unleashed. Now, what is a BDSM survey? Why is this even important to us?
Okay, so a BDSM survey is not something, for the record, that I have created. It's no way, in shape, or form something that I am the first person to ever come up with this idea or done it. There have been many surveys over many different years. Many different people have done it. As a matter of fact, I have authored several myself to this point in life. If anything, a survey, not to go too much into a Matt Knowles answer, is a way of communication between partners. Think about if you actually started dating someone and you actually spoke honestly about your expectations, what you wanted from the relationships. And that's what this basically is. It breaks down, of course, a little bit on the sexual side, but it also, just going through it, you have to have those communication keys of other things. And it forces two people to have an adult conversation of what they expect their relationship to look like going forward. I think there should be a vanilla survey, and I'd be open to actually making a vanilla survey for you vanilla people.
Here's the funny thing. I don't think you need to make a vanilla survey, because even as someone who is...
nowadays, with the people cheating on their wives and all, like, maybe we should have a questionnaire about, hey, are you married?
No, yeah, but I don't even think that stuff needs to be, like, it needs to be considered vanilla. I think that even people who are genuinely vanilla, there's a lot on that list where I'd be like, I'd give it a try. There's a lot.
I'm very shocked. We got him. We got him.
Wow. It's definitely not a fetish right now. That's for damn sure. But it's you want to try new things and see what's up, and so that's just what it is. So I really like that aspect of it. I thought that was really cool. And when I went through it, it was just so interesting to see, kind of to realize, oh man, like, this is really going to either bring two people together or move them apart. But that really is what it's about, is if you guys are not compatible as far as how you want to play and stuff, you need to know before you get in that room.
And I also think that it, like you said, like getting around about the whole vanilla thing, there are aspects about this, and I stress this a lot because it's true. Therapists actually suggest getting into bondage and BDSM because it encourages truth and it encourages conversations. Now you see, like I called up on the screen right now. On the top here, it actually says, my fetish, yes, willing to try, negotiable, maybe no. That is also a way to communicate with someone, hey, maybe I'm into, we'll try to go for more of a PG because it's the middle of the day program. I would like to be hogtied, but it's not a fetish. What is the difference between that? And we actually do describe in the book, hey, this is how to look at how to do this. We have an entire page that gives you a key on how to do that. But for just this video, to quicker, not Matt Knowles' answer, there are levels of degree of how into it you are. When something is a fetish, I want you to look at it as something that is part of a person's sexuality. You know, if you like women, there's a reason you like women. There's an aesthetic feature to that. That is what a fetish is. Technically, liking a woman is a fetish, or liking a man is a fetish, because you need those aspects of what you're looking at to be sexually attracted. That body is technically, therefore, a fetish because you are compelled by it. And the medical thing is that you are actually obsessed with them. There are many men out there who are manning. I mean, who are actually going out and trying to sleep with a lot of women. So, you know, there's a lot going on out there with men who misbehave, who let their fetishes go too far, even in the vanilla world. And I make that point because just because someone involves something kinky, it doesn't mean that people don't understand the rules. If anything, look at this. Look at the examination a couple does. Look at what someone in the BDSM culture actually sits through and goes through. And a lot of times, I'm sad to report this out loud, these types of surveys aren't used until someone's hurt, until someone's been abused. And after they've been abused, then suddenly they start looking into more information. And by then, it's already too late. Once someone's abused, you can't erase that. There's no taking that back. So does that sum up why I think this is important?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I had a really mean joke to throw in there, but I'm not going to.
I think you do jokes. You have to tell me off screen. I like the mean joke.
Yeah, no, I know you'll like this one. So yeah, anyways, yeah, that was really cool. I like that a lot. Now, in this one, is there any do we get any story from Barbara at all? Do we get any like little snippets of what's going on with her or anything like that?
No, not really. This is not, I mean, there is some context put in, of course. So there is not fan service, because we all know fan service means that she'd be naked, and that's not what it is. But there is definitely a tone and a way that things are written that kind of shows you more who Barbara is and what her belief system is. But I made it also so no one has to feel like they're missing out. So if you're a fan of Barbara, you will learn more about the character just by how she talks about things. But you're not going to get anything new as far as a story application. Because if we had started to put story into it, I couldn't have made it this hybrid comic that stands on its own. Because if you read this book, you don't need to read the other 3 issues. And I did that on purpose, painstakingly on purpose. It's like if you read a Huffington Post, you'll hear someone put an interjection about themselves, but you don't really know who they are, but you're just accepting, hey, this is what the person said about themselves. So, okay, cool. You know, and that's basically what you see with this.
And even, I mean, this is a BDSM survey, but even if you're going by the strict definitions of what is or is not a comic, this technically isn't a comic. This is almost like a pamphlet. Is that a fair statement?
I don't know if I'd call it necessarily a pamphlet because there's interaction within it. In it, you know what I mean? Because like a pamphlet's usually just informational. There's definitely some pamphlet stuff in it. I'll give you that. You're absolutely right. Yeah. We do use the trick. She's talking into a blog. I mean, it's not. You're right. This is not a quote unquote comic. Yeah. Even the first Barbara Unleashed kind of treaded the water between comic and not being a comic, and we threw that away with this one. This one does not try to be a comic. Like, we call it a survey. I don't think I put anywhere in it that it's a comic.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I think I call it a comic because it's the size of a comic and it's that. But I mean, even looking through it, we talk about it being a comic. It's a comic. The other stories, the other 3 stories that go with it, which is, of course, the first issue we call Barbara Unleashed, also nicknamed Fetish Babies, because it's the chapter where we find out about her. The second is Aftermath, and then we have Mentor Search. All those are just...
Hello? You're kind of cutting out.
Oh, sorry. Am I back now?
Yeah, perfect.
StreamYard does that every so often. So I think the other one does it too, though, Google Hangouts. I just don't think you notice it as well because I've been on the show and I've seen it. Everything goes haywire for a second.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad depiction of what we have. I don't have an answer for it. It's something new. When it's something
and that's the thing. Like, even calling it a pamphlet, there's nothing wrong about that. It's not. It's just. It's a descriptor. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to find some way to explain it, that would probably be a term that I would use. And you know what? The neat thing about this is, not to kind of take the reins too much here, but I think that anyone could benefit from doing this survey. Like, you don't have to be someone who's hardcore. Let's go in the dungeon every, Wednesday night, and we're gonna meet for munches and stuff. Yeah, that's right. I actually read the stuff that I edit. I know what I'm talking about.
No one ever says that. Let's go to munches. I've never heard anyone say it that way. Let's get some munches.
It's so funny because you'll be like, I'm gonna go out, and I'm like, are you going to a munch? And he's like, no, I'm hanging out with some friends. Okay, like, I just assume that, like, his whole life is jacked or a munch. Like, there's no in between. But I feel like this could be used by any couple, just to kind of, like, it would be a great starter thing for a couple. You're new together and whatever, and you both just do the survey together, and you laugh and titter, and you go, ah! And then as you go over it, you go, you're into this, and it's like, yeah, I actually really kind of like that. Okay, I've never done that before, and it starts this conversation. And you know what, man? Maybe you'll find from that you're like, whoa, I'm not into that. Well, maybe that's saying something about you more than it is about them. So I think it's really useful for anybody to be able to look at it and really kind of evaluate where they're at and maybe where they want to go.
I think that's fair. And like you said, I do think that vanilla people can be part of it. And we have the Advocator thing here. I just wanted to call out the fact that if you haven't gotten the Advocator, we have put the Advocator in this for you guys to get. I know a few people have recently asked me about it. We even have the Angelic Reward, which can get you the Cat Dad and Supermom book. That is an award-winning book, actually hidden within here. The reason you don't see it named is you will never see it named in this type of project because I try to separate the two worlds. Yeah. I don't, and you know that picture. Look at that.
I like that.
I deliberately tried to separate the worlds. Even when I went into the Advocator, and this is funny to me because I know some people gave a lot of pushback. I won't be in a book with Rob because he writes fetish. He's got an agenda. And meanwhile, for those who read the Advocator, you know that she is more tongue-in-cheek about everything. And actually, Manny's more of the slut. And that kind of makes me, not to go off on a tear, I'll just say quickly, I love the fact that my fellow creators can use bondage anytime they want to sell comics, and no one has a freaking problem with that. Put a naked girl on a cover and chain her up. Everyone's cool with it. But you actually try to talk about a fetish community that's not monsters, and that's when the problem comes in. So one day someone's going to sit me down and explain how that works. Because we both know, and I'll say it, and I've said it before, when a person creates a book about Nazi and glorifies them by making them half naked on covers and tells me that that's a fetish book and I'm upset with them because that's a fetish book. And he is right, Marcel Dupree. There is a hate fetish out there, and there is a Nazi fetish. So if he wants to tap into those people, he can have them all day long. Those aren't my crowd.
So with this happening and coming together, what was your goal for bringing this out?
Oh man, honestly, it was supposed to be my throwaway comic. I was just gonna make a story about a girl who's into bondage, and she was gonna get messed up, like the story goes, and then I fell in love with the character, and it was no longer a throwaway. And for those who are watching, don't know what I mean by throwaway. As creators, we occasionally make a story that we feel is commercially viable, that we're willing to sell at any dollar amount because we're not emotionally attached to it. You'll see that a lot with these more over-sexualized comic books. A lot of times those are just throwaway books that no one really cares about, but they'll write other. They don't care about the rights of it, is basically what it is. You're willing to sell the IP.
Which is funny because it's now the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah. I fell in love with the character. Writing the character, being so personable with her, and really examining what she goes through. And even writing a female character, I can't express to you how powerful of a feeling that was as a male to have to take that moment back and really look at, well, how do I understand females? What do I understand about females? And what would this character really feel like if she were real? And, what if she was my friend? And that's basically how this journey started. And I had a lot of females in the very beginning help me build her voice. What would she sound like? And even just asking people, hey, and I asked a lot of friends questions that were females. Hey, if this was said to you, how would you feel? Or would you say something like this? And the minute I got that tone in my head, and this is probably the moment I fell in love with Barbara, the minute I got the tone in her head of who she was, she stopped being a character and started being my friend. And I think that happens with a lot of writers. They become our friends, and I've had people offer to buy her and put her out. She has been and I use put her out on purpose. That's not a slip of my tongue, because that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to do sexy covers, half naked, if not naked, on the cover. And I'm still going to do the naked Bruce cover. We're going to have Bruce be naked on a cover. That's still going to happen. And he'll be holding the book in front of his junk because no one wants penis pictures, guys. Stop trying. No one wants it. Even in my community, they just don't want it. There's like one or two people. That's it. And they're usually guys. Guys like penis pictures.
Well, then what am I going to do with all of these things?
I told you, send them to the other bears in your community.
All right, cool. Now I got to do some research. Okay, but and that's really cool. What about specifically with the BDSM survey? What was your purpose for bringing that out?
Oh man, I had the flu one weekend, and I had all this information that I wanted to put into the next issue of Barbara Unleashed. And for some reason, I can't even tell you to this date, I was like, no, it isn't going to fit in a comic. Let me put it all together. I have like 101 fever, and I decided to start putting all my information together. And I just sat there for the entire weekend, and I can't explain to you. It was like almost being possessed with creative need, like hyper focused on it. And by the time I put it together, I remember you were one of the people I messaged. I was like, holy shit, Chuck, I created a comic book. It's a whole story. I can make this an entire book on its own. And because at the point when I first even debated doing this, it was going to go into the graphic novel.
Yeah.
I was like, do you think people will like it? And then Chuck was like, I don't know, let me look at it. And he read it, and he was like, well, what was your first, you're here, what was your first impression?
The actual BDSM survey?
Yeah, because you actually got to see a very early draft of it.
Yeah. To me, it was a whole new thing. I was like, whoa, I mean, what is all this? What do you, and I mean, because it's not just a survey. There's some other little things inside of it. So I always found the education part of it really some of the more interesting stuff for me. I just enjoyed being educated in the in the ideas and stuff. And so for me, it was like some of my favorite parts of like Mentor Search and Aftermath, all just in one book. So I thought that was really kind of cool. And of course, I was really interested in the idea of the survey and what that would mean and what that would do. So, yeah.
Now, one of the things that, and I'm not trying to take over the interview, I just wanted, we've talked about this, and I think it's important, talking about why I created this book. It really comes down to this. And I remember, I don't think you caught it the first pass, but I told you to look for something. And once you knew it was there, you were impressed how I was able to weave it in. Do you remember what that was?
No.
The fact that a woman doesn't have to accept, or a man doesn't have to accept, to be abused. Every step of the book points out abuse, and it doesn't do it in a preachy way. It never oversteps. It never tells you what to do. It merely, in a conversation, allows a person to come to a conclusion that's abuse right there. Yeah. And it's a strained idea through every page of the book, warning people, this is a red flag. This is a red flag. Because if you make a list of things that are a red flag, no one's going to read that list. It's a horse to water moment. And if they even do read it, they're going to digest it so quickly that they're not going to take any of it in. But when Barbara is talking about it, and it's why we tell these anecdotal stories to each other. When someone asks us for advice, we don't go, when you do it, when you just tell someone, oh, you shouldn't do that. But why shouldn't I do it? They need that. They need inspire me. Why shouldn't I do this?
Yeah, those cautionary tales are important.
Yeah. It's why we have fairy tales, and this is really just an adult fairy tale for people who want to be into the community, giving them the warning of, hey, this is it, Yeah. I think, for lack of a better terminology, Bruce is her fairy godmother at one point.
Yeah.
And it's a very different story because it's a world that a lot of people, and I don't get that. Understand, and I say this because it's true. I got into the whole aspect of just what bondage was before I knew what the word was. I wasn't even a teenager yet. It was something that compelled me. So my life has been dealing with this I'm 41, so that means 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years of my life has, at one aspect or another, had to do with this. And from the point of 17 on, I've been part of what is called the community in real life. But by the time I could get onto the internet at 14, 15, I was joining and faking my age. I was pretending to be a 30-year-old talking to other people and suddenly learning all these words to things I didn't know because I hadn't known. Because in my time period, this was before 9 Inch Nails, and this was before it became trendy and cool. It was really during a different time. And I remember, you think prosecution now is bad, you should be back in the 80s. 70s for these communities, and there's a lot of overflow with the LGBT community. So I got to meet an entire, there were things I saw decades before other people were seeing it. So to me, it was always normal and natural. So when people got upset about it later, I'm like, what is your problem? Why are you still like your head up your ass? Because I don't see it, because I haven't lived in that vanilla realm enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does.
I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and I saw all these vanilla-ass people talking about it, and I'm like, oh, God.
Get back, buddy. Yeah, no, totally. So for the hardcore Barbara Unleashed fans, what can we expect from Barbara next after this?
She has.
We might have I'm seeing that the live video is interrupted, so I'm probably just talking to myself right now. Are we back, buddy? Hey, how's everybody doing? That's my dog. We were talking about Barbara Unleashed, and this is my dog. Yeah. I'm basically just watching the broadcast now to see if it's just me or what's up. He looks like he's still going through stuff. Jeez. I have internet. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check and see what's up. Oh, here we are.
Can you
What's
hear me
going
now?
on, buddy? Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, it freaked out for a second. It could be the internet in my area. There's a lot of construction near my home. And you guys can see I'm like all disabled from the flu. For those watching on YouTube, I'm not sure if it says we're still live on YouTube, so cool. I guess you were live while I wasn't around.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was up, so I was just gonna keep just talking.
Keep going. All right, so to your question that you had asked before all that got weird, what is the future of Barbara Unleashed saga? Okay, for those who have read the third book now, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people who are my fans, because you said hardcore fans, have seen that Bruce and Barbara have already actually had a play date of sorts. Because he's the mentor role, it's really not them playing, but the way that they set it up, it was playing. So the lines have gotten very blurred between Barbara. I think what you can expect next is seeing them actually get into something. And there's going to be an interesting twist. The next book is going to be called Graduation. It is about her graduating from needing a mentor and her joining the she knows what she's doing now. So what that means, of course, will be something completely different than what she thinks it means in the future. Because a lot of times when we think we're all grown, turns out we're not so grown, and real world problems come to get us when the training wheels are off. And I think that you're going to see more of that from the character. To every fan's question, yes. This is the last time we're inviting vanilla people with us. This series is where vanilla people get off. And I don't mean it that way. I just heard it.
I just heard it. I love that. I'm like, I heard that right away.
This is where the vanilla people have to understand that the next series is going to be a little more intense.
Yeah.
And that's just what it's going to be. So it's going to be interesting. I don't want to give away too much because there's so much story left to go. We've only touched the surface of it, and this was inviting a lot of the people who would want to be interested in it without seeing anything that was intense. We'll see a lot more intense storytelling in the near future without it being too graphic. We are never going to aim for anything to be overly graphic because I think that ruins the story. Are you there, Chuck, or did you get kicked out now?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I think it's just maybe my internet. We'll give Chuck a second to check back in.
Yeah, because I'm here.
Yeah, I just, like I said, construction in my neighborhood. So I'm sure someone's like hitting a pole, trying to
Can you hear me? Really? Not at all?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so we really appreciate you coming on the show today and giving us your time. That's really sweet of you. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find more Barbara Unleashed and more of this BDSM survey?
Well, you can find me at theindiedevil.com and find out all about my devilish tales that I can tempt you with. You can also find Barbara at barbaraunleashed.com, which redirects right now to the actual the Kickstarter. So that's an easy way to do that. And of course, indieadvocates.com, you can find our amazing website, which helps indie creators get known. And it is just what it is. You know, you got to go there to see what creators are creating nowadays. There's a reason for it. So that's it. I mean, that's how you find me and you find Barbara right now. And it's all part of the Written Sins comics.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it. Now, we're gonna go check out some of our favorite Marcel Dupree comics. Let's go check them out.
Yes, I'm really enjoying that Dog Days. That Dog Days, I'm telling you, that's a great thing.
You know what sucks for you people is that I've read Dog Days and it's really, really good. And so it sucks because we still have all this stuff together, and if it could get out, it would be really good. Like, you guys would just have a blast with it.
All right, guys. I think we're going to lock it up now. Chuck, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Chuck Pino, Pineau. You can find me, of course, my little publishing wing, Bonfire Press, facebook.com/Bonfire Press. You can find me on Twitter at Chucky Pin. Of course, you can always find my sweet Chuck's Raw reviews on YouTube. And if you're a little bit of a podcast fan, you can always check out Essence House on any of your favorite podcasting channels.
All right. So that's it, guys. That's the end of ICR today.
All right. See you, everybody.
And that's it. We'll see you guys later. Yeah, I don't know. They must be messing with my internet.
Yeah, that got really choppy at points. I'm like, what's even going on?
Yeah, and cause it can't be the fact that we were running both, because both are fine. The only other thing I think is maybe my sister's still up and she's streaming, and because I'm streaming two at once, it's harder on her.
Yeah.
So that could have had something to do with it, because normally she's asleep at this point. So for some reason she's not today. But I mean, we'll see. I want to see the quality of the video, if it's worth going live on YouTube at the same time, because I can just upload it, and I don't think we had anyone watching. Because
we had a couple here and there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that. I mean, I actually have to try to figure out how. Oh, there we go. End broadcast. I don't know. It could have just been that. We'll see on there. But I thank all the YouTube people for being involved. No one really came on live. There were like 2 people, so it's not a huge benefit probably doing both bandwidths. So I don't necessarily have to do it. But I want to see how the video looked.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Oh, come on.
Is there even a way to get StreamYard to do 2 streams at once?
StreamYard's actually doing 2 streams